everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be the TBR book tag. This is going to be a long, cozy one. Definitely grab something to drink because it's long for some of these answers. I will link down below the original creators and everything. Check those out. Let's get to it. We're starting slowly. First question is, how do you keep track of your TBR book pile? Okay, we're friends, right? At this point, I'm just going to answer honestly. The answer is badly. Just very, very badly. My life, my shelves, everything is just a chaotic, organized chaos. We're gonna go with that. So I do use Goodreads. You know, I have a like to read shelf on there. I have some physical books, but they're mixed with the red ones and they're organized by somewhat genre. I think the most organized section is this one because those I have read, those I haven't, and that's about it. Otherwise, I use my library like the waiting list and also the wish list. And I forget that I have books on my Kindle. And a little bit of it is like just memory, meaning that I will probably forget some of them. So like it's kind of organized. It kind of makes sense in my head, but I haven't been to like a library sale in forever. So I don't have to remember some authors or some books that I've been meaning to pick up whenever I see them because I haven't done that in 2 years at this point. So yeah, not well. I probably should do a better job at it, but it hasn't been too much of a problem so far, so that probably explains why I'm just still doing that. Number 2, is your TBR mostly print or ebook? Okay, I've alluded to having some of my Kindle, but because I keep forgetting, I don't tend to do ebooks often. Plus, I live in Canada, and for some reason, we can't automatically get our ebooks from the library on our Kindle. I don't know why they do that. I have to like put them on my phone, which it's fine, but like often I'll just forget about them because of that too. So I don't tend to use ebooks often from the library because of that. And like I said, I usually buy used books, so they're not super expensive and I have plenty to read. So ebooks are not my favorite. So mostly physical. And I recently did a reorganizing video. If you want to see them, there's no talking, it's just action, just me emptying them and then putting them back somewhat organized. How do you determine which book from your TBR to read next? I'm kind of a mood reader, as you know, unbelievable as it might be. Although I've been doing so many challenges that it's been a little hectic trying to like do everything this year, early in the year. So I'm doing one every month with the book club on Patreon, but we're also doing a classic book every 2 months. So I've been trying to keep up. So far, again, we're month 2, so like hasn't been that hard, but still. And then in February, right now, I'm doing a one week, one shelf challenge. So like I'm reading a different genre every week and I don't know which. So even though I call myself a mood reader, it's been very often just, oh, this is the challenge I'm doing, so that's the one I'm reading. Is it always working for me? Not really. But that's kind of how I've been trying to keep my TBR. I just try to mix the challenges that I've been doing, trying to keep it interesting for you guys, and just whatever I want to read. Has it been successful? We had our moments. What's a book that's been on your TBR list the longest? Okay, I thought it would be fun to just go ahead and rewatch my first book haul video with you. I'm not gonna actually watch it, just gonna put like pictures of like what I was holding in that video, and I'll let you know which ones I have read and which ones I haven't, because let's make fun of me. This book haul was published August 2016, and I look like a completely different person, which is true. I mean, new camera, new lens, and I've had also double jaw surgery, so that will explain some of it. What's funny though is that then and right now we both need a haircut, so it's fun. We're keeping that consistent. So let's look at the books. I said 30 in this video. I'm going to try to like go through them kind of fast. The first one I showed, Between Shades of Grey, I have yet to read. So I guess this is definitely one of the oldest one that I've had on my shelf, because obviously I started my channel, I had 0 books on my shelves on purpose, like I was starting fresh. So all of these ones are the ones I've had the longest. So yes, historical fiction, I've yet to read it. Is it World War II? Because I have a feeling it is. Is it not? But I've been like on a break for those for a little while. So that's the first one. The second one I'm seeing is The Storied Life of A.G. Thickery, which I love. I've read this when I was in a slump. I read it super quickly. It's great, feel good kind of fiction. Armada? Basically, I unhaul this one. I unhauled this one because I read Ready Player One, didn't care for it, didn't want to read anything else by the author. This was one of the first books I've ever DNF'd. I had no interest in it. Shadow of the Wind. Oh, that one is shameful. I have been meaning to read this one ever since I got it. So yeah, one day. The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. I did read that one. I did. Did I like it? Different story, but I read it. The Rest of Us Just Live Here. I have read that. The Knife of Never Letting Go. I have been meaning to read this one for forever. Still want to. It's still on my shelf. The Mistborn Trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. I have read that years ago. Love them. A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This is the last book in the Shades of Magic trilogy. I have read that. The last book was definitely the weakest one. Just got an ad. Get that money, girl. We like that. I don't remember what's the name of that series. The Lunar Chronicles. I can see it on the screen. I haven't read these. I attempted book 2, which is Scarlet, but I didn't care for it. Put it down and I just never continued. Eventually realized I'm way too old for that, so I just never finished it. So, The Remedy. I have never heard anyone talk about this book, literally ever. Read it and I overall enjoyed it, but again, that was like 5 years ago and I hadn't read any book in forever, so I don't know if I would still feel the same. Oh my god. Mortal Instrument and Clockwork, whatever that series is called. I've read the first 2 books of Mortal Instruments, but the twist at the end of book 1 never kind of got over it, and I never continued. I do have them on my shelves. Will I read them? I don't know. Everything. I have read this. I am still mad about it. The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn. This is definitely her shortest and weirdest book, but I have read it. Oh my god, I have read Living Dead Girl, which I was not prepared for. Definitely look up trigger warnings if you're going to read this. It's quick, but traumatizing. The Laugh of Evan by Ursula K. Le Guin. Read that, it was great, but man, did it make me practice my English back in the day. Inhalation, read that, didn't really care for it. Bird Box, read that years ago. You, read that also years ago. Ugly Love, got rid of this a while ago. I realized romance is not my thing, and I don't think Colleen Hoover would be my thing, so. An Ember in the Ashes, I haven't read this. Actually, I think I still have this somewhere on my shelves, so I will eventually attempt it, but I haven't read that. I think that's it. Not too bad. I feel like there are a couple that have been on there forever that I have been meaning to read. I still really want to. Some of them I'm kind of about, but some of them I really want to, so yeah. That gives you the official list of the physical books that have been the longest on my shelves. A book you recently added to TBR. Let's double check on Goodreads. Which one did I add to my to read? I put A History of Wild Places. I saw it on my library when I was looking for new release books, and the cover was pretty and the reviews were positive, so I added it. I added also Medical Apartheid. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. I saw it on TikTok actually, and I feel like I need to do a video about books that I've recently added to my TBR. Let me know if you're interested. With nonfiction, I've noticed that I start one book Invisible Woman, and then I go deeper with the Pain Gap, which wasn't quite what I wanted. I wanted it to go deeper even. And then I have Medical Apartheid. So I feel like I'm just trying to explore more and more that medical topic with racism and sexism. This one is The Dark History of Medical Experimentation on Black Americans from Colonial Times to the Present. I have heard it's really enlightening, but obviously very difficult read. So looking forward to it. I also added How High We Go in the Dark. And frankly, I don't remember why I added it, but I think I might just not look it up and do a video about books that I'm reading because they have pretty covers. Because look at that cover. It's so pretty. Next question. A book on your TBR strictly because of its beautiful cover. Well, I guess I just answered my own question. But seriously, I don't ever do cover buys, although it's library, so I don't think it really counts, but still. Maybe I should do that video, reading vlog, trying 2-3 books that I'm reading just because they have pretty covers and see if that works for me, because why not? A book on your TBR that you never plan on reading. Okay, never say never, but I've mentioned in the past that I don't think I will ever read War and Peace. I do own the physical copy, and I made the mistake, I was told the characters have a bunch of really long names, Russian names, and they tend to have multiple ones, and it was really complicated, so I decided to watch a TV show, which was really great. But because it just satisfied me, I just haven't felt the need to read the book. Which I'm sure there's a bunch that isn't in the TV show, but yeah, that's the truth. An unpublished book on your TBR that you're excited for, Upgrade by Blake Crouch. Definitely one of the ones I'm looking forward to reading the most this year. I want to know, because his last 2 books, Recursion and then Dark Matter, love them, they're really popular, and I'm curious to see if it's gonna, keep up the hype and it's gonna keep being amazing. A book on your TBR that basically everyone's read but you. Okay, frankly, I have been going through that TBR list with all the popular ones, and I've been trying to read a lot of them. Like, I've been reading Wheel of Time. Never thought I would get around to reading it, and I'm currently in the middle of book 2 for a few months. But I at least read the first book. I even read like Princess Bride. Like, I've read so many popular ones, and I couldn't really think of like one, except maybe for like mysteries. I haven't read any Ten of French yet, which if you read a lot of mysteries, it's probably one that like most people have read, but I don't have a lot on that list because I've been really trying to read them. A book on TBR that everyone recommends to you. In general, people tell me to just finish series. So, you know, any of the series that have been starting that were popular, people are telling me to continue, which I agree. That's why it's one of my challenges this year. But one that I haven't started the series would be Shards of Earth by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I have loved a lot of the books that I've read by him. He writes so many, but this is his newest release. He's coming out with book 2 this year, and I'm really looking forward to reading that one. So definitely something I've heard a lot of you mention in my comment section. I should say I've seen a lot of you recommend. You get it. A book on TBR that you're dying to read. Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. I am dying to continue the Starlight Archive series, but I've been trying to like spread it because book 5 is only coming out next year, next fall, I think. So 2023. So I have 2 books and I have 2 years to wait. So I'm trying to like not read them right away, but I will crack. I will. How many books are on your TBR shelf? Physical. Let's skip to physical. I have about maybe 700 books. Last time I counted was about there, and I haven't done a lot of hauls because of the pandemic. So I'm probably at about that still. And I do tend to get rid of, donate most of the books that I have read unless I have loved them. So I probably have 400 or 500 books that I haven't read on my shelves. Maybe like 400. That's a lot. But, well, you know, that's a lot, but at the same time, I read like about 100 books a year, although not from my physical collection. It's probably like half that. 50 a year. But like, I mean, we're living through some intense changes in the world. Like, if I can't buy any books or access the library anymore, I will have, you know, a couple months worth of books to read. I would actually be curious, like people that actually collect books that have like, basically this is my living room. So like, I love just owning books too. How many books do you have? I'm sure some of you have like thousands, which I am hoping one day I will have an actual library. I hope you enjoyed this video. I didn't think I would have a flashback like this today, looking back at my first book haul video ever. 5.5 years ago. Yeah, 5.5 years ago. So a lot of these books have been on there for a little while. That was fun. I hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up, subscribe. Please let me in the comment section your answers to these questions. I would love to hear them. I will be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, and I will see you in an upcoming video very soon. Bye.